Yo. Alright, we back. Ahem. What were we talking about? Cock Martian. What do you do, sir? You have a 4-up save, 6 wounds, 5-inch move. Can't fight. Ahem. Ooh, double caster. Four-up save though. It knows knows all spells. Nice. Knowing all spells, big for those like silver bullet ones, right? Contract of Nagash. Start the combat phase. You can pick one enemy unit within 3 of this unit and roll a die. Stop reading there. No, start the combat phase. That actually matters. Hold up. Actually matters. This is slightly before he's dead no matter what. So... Cool, cool. Isn't that neat? Nice ability. 3-up. What a cool ability. I like that. So at the start of the combat phase, before he's 100% dead, pick an enemy unit within 3. On a 3-up, your opponent must spend a command point to kill this asshole. That's cool. What a cool ability. I like that. -2 bravery if the model picked to be enemies, whatever. Mortal Touch. Spell has a casting ability of 7, range of 1. An enemy model within range. On a 4-up, model slain. Range of the spell cannot be modified, must be measured from the caster. So like, that's anything. 4-up, just look. It's not even a mini Hand of Dust. It's a real Hand of Dust. It's a 4-up instead of choosing one or the other. Yeah, it's a range of 1 inch. But it's possible, right? That this could ever happen. Also, it's a range of 7 if he's next to Archon. Range 7 if he's next to Archon. Yeah. Combo. You could also Umbral Spell Portal that, right? The range of the spell cannot be modified. Oh, I should have kept reading. Never mind. Fun detected. Okay. Finger of Dust. Alright. No modified, no fun. 4-up model dead. Locked into Praetorians. Yo, I actually kind of like this little guy. What a little guy. So, double caster, knows all the spells. Contract of Nagash is cool. Your opponent has to pay their taxes. It's so thematic. Your opponent has to pay the taxes to be able to auto kill him, right? They're just looking to collect a bone tithe, right? That's cool. And then, I don't know how the fuck this is going to happen, but someday this will happen. Where I roll up there with a Frostlord on Stonehorn, and and I roll like I usually do, so it's like, oh, 6 horn attacks, 4 up, 2 hit, 1 wound, he just magically passes the save or something, no damage. And then on his turn, bang. Nothing personal, kid. 400 points off the table, right? Yeah, he charges opponent's hero phase, not hero phase, but charge phase. So I don't get impacts, he somehow lives, you know? The absolute memer. This guy is a memer. This guy is the meme. I actually kind of like him. Oh, what should he cost? He's a double caster that knows all the spells, so 160 is already too cheap for him, probably, right? Well, okay. I'm thinking about ogre wizard point costs, where single casters are like 160 for some goddamn reason. In a real army, double casting, know all the spells wizards with a 4-up save and like good shit are just 140, otherwise they're overpriced, right? Is that how normal armies, is that how privileged armies feel? Yeah, he's Mortis Praetorian locked. You can't give him an artifact. These are big downsides, right? Yeah, 140, 160, something like that. I think 160. I'm gonna go high on him. I'm guessing high. Yeah, he's locked in Praetorians. That sucks. You can't give him anything. That sucks. But Doublecaster knows all the spells. In my head, maybe Games Workshop is different, but in my brain, if I see Doublecaster and one anything else that's even remotely good, that to me that's 160. Like minimum. It's just 160 to me. I don't know if maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Games Workshop doesn't realize how important wizards are. But he's got a 4-up save. He might actually live. He won't. But yeah, 160. What does he cost? $140? God damn. Alright. He was a 2-caster at 110 before the new book. How does Games Workshop keep getting away with this? Yo, this guy's kind of good. The will it... Alrighty then, chat room. Will it cost, right? This is KK Cruisin', Hyper Potions. The quote, what do you call it? Quote, Animal Crossing absolute slapfest of this song. Yeah, that would be the name of it. There you go. You got some sage jam in your nose. You got the suns in your eyes. Accidentally pressed pause on your fight stick. Alright. Archcavalos Xanthos. Archcavalos Los Angeles. Seven wounds, 3 up, 10. Proper mounted boy. Seven wounds, 3 up, 10 inch. Archcava Los Angeles. I could see maybe reading it really fast and saying Archcavalos Angeles. Oh, if he's a Mortis Praetorian. Hold up. Oh, Heart Shay, nice. You got a Brian F emote? Cool. Yo, what is this? This is actually kind of nice. What is this? Bubblegum KK Curly. Nook and Chill. Nice one. All right, Dark Lance. Dark Lance. That's what the goth kid in high school wants to be called. From now on, you will call me Dark Lance, or I will not respond. 5 attacks, 3s and 3s, 2/2, and then 6 3s and 3s, 1/1. All right, yeah, that's a mounted hero. That's a mounted attack profile. Once per turn, this unit can issue a command to a friendly OBR unit. Great. All right, yeah. Unstoppable charge. Pick one enemy within 1. Number of dice equal to unmodified charge for each 5. You stolen all these people stealing my ogre ability. And it can pile in 6. Alright, 5 up ogre impacts plus 3-inch extra pile-in, but not a true 6-incher. Not the full 6-incher, right? Not the activate and pile-in, only the pile-in. The Dark Lance. Add 1 to damage if it made a charge. Oh shit, that's sick. Look, usually the lance, like, on the charge weapons suck, and then they're amazing on the charge. These are good, and then become great on the charge. That's way better than a frost spear. Plus some horsey hits. How many horsey hits? 6 horsey hits. And the horsey hits have rend. That's something. I'm liking all this stuff that I'm seeing throughout the book. 1 free CP a turn, 1 free CP a turn, 1 free CP a turn. Like, even though you're getting so many, they intend for you to use them, and so you're going to want the discount as well. Do you think ogres are bad, or just don't like how they are designed? How do I put this? Everyone complains about their own army. This is just a fact, right? Whatever army you play, I'm sure you complain about how it compares to other stuff. Chosen, like, cherry picking here and there and everywhere, you know? So it's a certain percentage that, which I'm doing in a manner that I hope people realize isn't particularly serious. We're just having fun, you know? And then a little bit, kind of poorly designed, and a little bit very clearly didn't spend a lot of time on the books ever, any of the battle tomes that I've gotten. Nobody plays the army in the headquarters and it shows, you know, just kind of careless, it feels. And then a little bit of when we get a cool thing, they just give it to everybody else. So a little bit of that. A little bit of all of that stuff. As far as how good they are, it's 3rd edition, baby. If you practice, you can go 5-0 with a ham sandwich in 3rd edition. Yeah, even the armies that really suck. So, you know, there's a good list. There's like 2 good lists in ogres, I think. They're pretty specific. They're very specific, but there's like 2 good lists in there. How do free command abilities interact with Eclipse? I believe Eclipse says if it would spend 1, but you wouldn't spend 1, you would spend 0. So I think it might skirt around that. Let's check. What's the... Yeah, when your opponent spends any command points, well, you're not spending any, you're spending none. So, in the mirror match, this wouldn't do anything against the free ones. Against Lumineth, I could bring up the thing. We could check the tapes. It might say costs an additional. If it says costs an additional, maybe you have to spend 1, right? If it says 2 instead of 1, then you get around it and you're safe because you're not spending 1. So you can't instead of something that you weren't going to do, right? Let's check. Your opponent must spend 2 command points to use a command ability instead of 1. Well, you're not spending any. You're spending 0. So I feel like you just spend 0. It isn't worded perfectly like that, right? The wording here isn't perfect. The 2 things contradict. But you're not going to spend 1. You're going to spend 0. So there's no instead of if you weren't going to do that originally, I think. That's how I read it anyway. Relic Blood Lore. Don't we all just want a few good lists in our book with some space for a few pet things? Maybe I hold Games Workshop to a higher standard. I wish for them to rise to the occasion. Maybe I'm being unfair. But I think they can do better. I think they can do better than, like, Techless or You Suck after 3 Lumineth books, you know? I think they can do better than Frostsword on Stonehorn, Iron Blasters, nothing else in Ogres, right? Like, and there's like 20 units in the army. I think they can do better than, like, 5 Stormcast units, maybe 6 out of 70 or something like that. You know, I feel like they're capable of better. Nagash at 900 for 6 years and never played. Yeah, I mean, he was briefly played in, like, 1st edition. Or was it 2nd? People played him with Grimghast Reapers for a little while, you know. For the equivalent of something like 1 season, people played Nagash and 30 and 60 Grimghast Reapers. 5 years ago or something. And then, oh yeah, pre-nerf Petrifex. People put him on the table a few times. I don't think that was the best list at the time, but people did it. He was briefly put onto a table. I'm just saying, you look at a book, you open it, and you read all the things fresh. You open a book like Gloomspite Gits, and you're like, they tried to make them good on purpose, and they succeeded. And then you open some other book, and they're like, and you're like, they kind of just did what last book did and changed a number or 2. Balance isn't as easy as I'm making it seem. I hope I'm not. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying I believe they are capable of rising to that occasion. Especially with the quasi-new middle management they're putting in there. You think Cruel Boys are bottom tier because it's a new faction? No. or there's just something fundamentally broken about the army. You just use their Trogoths for your full Trog army. Yeah, it just kind of sucks. The problem with Kruleboyz is maybe a problem with Orc War Clans. They took 4 different, distinct armies. They took 4 entire different factions, threw them in a blender, and just put it in a single book. And so each faction in the book, 3.25. Let's not get YouTube thumbnail on this. They took 3.25 entire factions and threw them in one book. And so each faction got a third of the time and effort as every other whole army, right? Ironjawz turned out okay, but, you know. I think they just messed up. They thought it would be good and it wasn't. But let's keep going. Still their breath. You can use this command ability in the combat phase. This unit must receive the command. Until your next hero phase, add 1 to wound rolls for attacks made in the 11s by friendly Mortis Praetorians. Or within 12. Okay, so wound bonus. Nice, nice. You see this? Chaos Lord on everything. See this Chaos Lord on every single fucking mount? You know what this is? This is a fucking ability. This is a buff. This is what's missing on all of your War Scrolls. Chaos Lord on every fucking thing. This is what is known as a buff. They're not new. But they go on heroes, even ones that are on mounts. Now, I really like the Slaves to Darkness book, but I do have a quibble. It's whack that it's +1 to wound. It's in Mortis Praetorians. So you're going to play Catacross, who's going to give +1 to hit. That's why. So that your Mortis Praetorian army is chilling on +1 hit and wound. It's like a puzzle piece that locks in. They did that so it wouldn't step on Catacross's toes because he can't get +2. And all-out attack is always there, true. So we got pretty good at fighting, pretty good +1 at fighting on the charge, free command point, decent move for this army, good armor, locked into Praetorians -, named hero -, impact hits, and a fucking buff. Even though it's locked to Mortis Praetorians, it's a buff. Overall, whatever Chaos Lord on Karkadrak costs, this guy should cost that, except he's worth it instead of not worth it. Is he better enough than a normal liege, though? You know, his cost is going to be intrinsically linked to the normal liege. Maybe I hold off on will it kill or will it cost until I check out this guy, right? 200 for Lord of Kark now? Okay. Yeah, then this guy should be 200. Then again, you can't give him an artifact, and that's actually big. He's locked to Mortis. I'm going to say 190, just so I'm not 20 off again. Just so I'm not 20 off again. I'm going to guess 190. But, don't tell me yet. Don't do it. Because I want to see the normal one, and then we compare and contrast, because they're both going to They're gonna affect each other, right? So still 7-3 up. Less rend. He can still issue for free. Not a general. Oh, has the full unstoppable charge. Wait, you can use command ability in the hero phase? Unit there is in the hero phase. So stacks with the command phase ones? Until your next hero phase, add one of the attacks characteristic of the unit's melee. That's literally better than this. I mean, this is AoE, sure. I'll take this one every single time. Okay, well, hold up. Hold up. It's called Endless Duty. It's not just the same effect as Catacross, it's literally the same name, which means you can't do Catacross and this guy. That's the kicker here. Since it's the same exact name, you can't like use Catacrosses and this guy's. But you know what you can do? You can use Catacross's AoE, and then this guy's single target, and you're good. Oh wait, OBR can because Limit Breaker. You are not wrong, chat room. I forgot they had Limit Break. They broke the limit. Hold up. Alright, Luigi Cabal Roast. He is just obviously better than Arch Cavalier Xantos. I guess he doesn't have the Dark Lance. So he does less dam, right? Less dam. Doesn't have like Ren 2 damage 3 on the charge. But you can give him an item. And the wound buff is nice, but Endless Duty is just better. Yeah, Leech Cavalos is... So... Same impact, same wheel. One worse rend and dam than LA on the charge. CA. +1 attacks. Stacks with Caterpie's Limit Break. Not sub-faction locked. Yeah, he's better than Xantos, for sure. Just sight unseen. Simply better than Xantos. Therefore, should cost more. Because that's purpose of points in a game. Alright. So, since he is better, he should cost more. And Xantos should cost less. You know Xantos is more? usually, I don't know. They're getting better, right? Copium, absolute copium. They're getting better at this. So this guy is 170, and this guy is 190. +1 attacks buff? God damn. In which case, this guy is very comparable to Chaos Lord on Karkatrak, only way better as well. Because he has a buff that's good. Unlike Chaos Lord on Karkatrak, who has no buff. He hath no buff. Alright, give me the points. Let's start with Archcaval Los Angeles. Let's start with him. What's the points? Chat room, I'm ready. Xantos is 200. Okay. If you're comparing this army to like Slaves to Darkness, then 200 is fine for him because he's better than a 200-point Chaos Lord, right? What about the Luigi Cabal Roast? 180, okay. So the one that is better costs fewer points. Makes perfect sense. What are points? You know? What are points but a way to balance the game? The way you balance it is, the thing that's better should be cheaper. He doesn't have a name, therefore he's cheaper. Look, if they want their named heroes to be better, they should make them better. I don't know. Anyway, great work. Now we got Mortesian Soul Reaper. We got Legacy of Kain Soul Reaper. This guy looks fucking badass. And he was a meme. Did actual nothing. Could he do something now? He fights like a ogre wizard. That is to say, you're like, ooh, yeah, 3s and 3s, -2/2. That's but at the end of the day, nothing happens when he fights. Same with them. 5/5/4 up. He's a single caster. Each time the unit fights, you can say it will unleash a reaping strike. Well, you're not fighting with him, so I'm not reading that. Soul Blast. Is this guy unique? No, he's not. Soul Blast is a spell that has a casting value of 6 and a range of 12. Okay. Single caster. Soul Blast. Cast on 6, range 12. If successfully cast at the start of any one phase, you gotta write the word 1. You gotta save the numbers for like distances and number of dice rolled, I think. Maybe not. And like target values and stuff. You should type the word 1 here. I don't know why I'm picking on them for that. But look at this. You don't have to worry about templating. Look at all this room you have. Any one phase before your next hero phase, you can pick one enemy unit within range and visible to the caster. That unit suffers D3. If it is within 3, it's a... He does literal nothing. He casts a lore spell, I guess. It's not applicable. 0% inclusion rate. Never take, no matter what. I mean, at 20 points or 40 points or some other like game-breakingly tiny amount, you would just take him and then he would cast Mystic Shield for you, I guess. But, what do I even do? What do I even do? You know what? Let's really think about this. Instead of just hypothesizing, let's have an auction. This is not a silent auction, all right? You are building an OBR army. Stop me when you would no longer take this guy. So 20 points. For 20 points, he's a wizard, and he casts Mystic Shield. That's totally worth it. You'll take that instead of a Triumph, probably any day of the week. 20 points, easy. 40 points, I still think you take him, right? What about 60 points? Would you take 60 points for this guy? Who wouldn't play him in an OBR army for 60? Or are we still low enough so that you take him only because he's Mystic Shield? You take a 60 point? Because, I mean, he can cast a lore spell, right? I think people still take him at 60. What about 80? You're out at 75. 85 is where you draw the line. You take him for up to 100. I don't know if you'd take him for up to 100. At 100, right? You could pay 40 more. You can pay 40 more than that 100 and get a double caster that knows every lore spell for 140. So 100, no way. Even for 80, like if you take 80, right? If you take 80 and double it, if you double 80, it's already more than this guy. And this guy is casting 2 spells, so it's really like 2 wizards. I think 80 is the most expensive, considering just this guy. We haven't even looked at the other wizards. Even at 80, I think it's starting to be, I don't think so, or maybe. Sometimes you have less than 100 points to take a hero. True. And then you look at everything else in your army list and you're like, well, why did I choose this instead of something else, right? I think 80. My guess is 80. 80 max. I think I still probably wouldn't. Does he unlock Battle Line? Oh, he does? Oh, hold on. Hold on. I didn't know he unlocked Battle Line. Remember when I thought he did literal nothing? Wrong. He unlocks Stalker Battle Line. That is something. He does something now. He used to do actual nothing. Now he does something. Oh, any Mortesian does? Never mind. Yeah, 80. Well, now we're talking about the cheapest way to unlock a battle line or something. 80. He's flushed. Alright, my guess is 80. What does he cost? $120. Okay. Hey, you know who else? Hey, look, it's a Mortesian for 20 points more. All right, yeah. Man, what a waste of a good sculpt for 2 editions in a row. What an absolute waste of a good sculpt. Oh well. Yeah, 20 points for +1 cast, or +1 cast per turn, +1 unbind per turn, and every lore spell. And your opponent has to pay taxes to kill him. They want him to be a fighting foot hero? Well, they fucked up. Because they didn't give him a fighting profile. Now we got the Ossifector. Mortimer, buy new model, man. Buy the new model. Single caster just hasn't found the right one yet, you know, but he's still playing the market. Refined creations. In your hero phase, you can pick one friendly Gothazar Harvester, Mortek Crawler, or Morgahast. Well, even 12 of this unit, and pick one of the following augmentations to apply to that unit. Alright, this War Scroll is already more interesting than this one. They just didn't do anything here, right? This is the new model, so someone's job was making that thing even remotely interesting. Your hero phase. +1 rend, or the first wound or mortal wound caused the unit in each phase is no. And if the unmodified hit roll for an attack made with a missile weapon by that unit is 6, the attack scores 2 hits instead of 1. Oh, so you okay. How long does this last? How long does this last is a question I'm asking right now. In your hero phase, let's say I pick a crawler, older than 12 of this unit, and pick one of the following augmentations to apply to that unit until your next hero phase. So if it was just for the turn, I could see using accelerated calcification on the opponent's turn to negate some damage, but it's rend. You're just always doing the rend, right? Or either rend or exploding ranged hits. You really have 2 choices. Empower Ossificate. Alright, so another one. Empowered Ossification. Cast on a 5, range 24 is great range. Up to 3, okay. Oh, okay. So instead of 1 in 12, it's 3 in 24. Can get augmented. So if you're, I mean, if you're playing this stuff, if you're playing Harvesters and Morghast and Crawlers, then you take this guy. And if you don't, then you're not. And that's just how it is. At least he's not the buy new model man that you play in every single list, you know? I mean, maybe he would be, but... And again, what's wrong with being good? That's what we want every guy to be, right? Yeah, you're supposed to play this guy in Petrifex Big Boys, for sure. He's a single caster with a good but specific buff, with a spell that just makes his buff better. How much did the double caster cost? 140? So he's 140. He's giving up one spell a turn to have a buff. That's good if you're playing that stuff, so 140. Having a buff is the same as having a spell. Depending on how good it is. Yeah, 140. Because he's just the same as this guy. Instead of 2 spells, it's a spell and a buff for stuff, and it's a good buff. Single caster, yeah. So, one guy has 2 spells and an ability. That's kind of nice. This guy has 1 spell and a buff that's really good if you're playing that stuff. So I consider a good buff to be about equivalent to a spell. Sometimes better, sometimes worse. So 140. Because spells are abilities, really, if you think about it. They just always work. His Empower will use his spell, though. If you're empowering, maybe you're just picking one. I don't know. I don't know what you're doing with your life. I mean, for the catapult, you would probably make it exploding. You'd probably make the exploding ranged hits with that one. Oh yeah, I should say melee rend here. Yeah, his cost is going to depend on how good the catapult is. You're right. It's contingent. Okay. Tell you what. 130. Fine Lancer. Yeah. 130 Fine Lancer. Alrighty then, chat room. What's he cost? 120? Okay, that's what I figured. That's what I assumed. Guy's cool. If you're playing that stuff, you probably play him. If you don't, you probably don't. But we balance him around him being in the thing he's supposed to be in, buffing the guys he's supposed to be buffing. To balance him around anything else is silly. Also, that would mean... Did this dude... They decided that this guy is worth the same points as this guy. What solar system is what's happening? All right, now I got the bone shaper. He gets 2 additional attacks sometimes. I didn't even read it. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even read. He's a horde killer foot wizard. Alright. Horde killer, heavy quotes, melee, get into combat and kill the horde that way, foot wizard. 4-up save. Single caster. In your hero phase, you can pick one friendly OBR unit within 6. If it is not Immortus Guard or Necropolis Stalkers, you can... Oh, it's just the heal. Okay. But not bigs, only smalls. It's the heal / regen. Regen, reanimate, you know. If it's mortal, then you can... Oh, it's the full thing. Yeah, it's the full thing. Instead of up to 3 or everyone within, it's just 1. But it's the heal regen that the other guys have. Shardstorm. One enemy unit in range visible. Roll a number of dice equal to the number of models in that unit. Why not max 6? For each 5 up, the unit suffers a mortal wound. Okay, so a unit of 10 will suffer 2 mortal wounds. Okay. A smaller unit will suffer nothing, probably. And some Mondo Humongo 40-man something or other is gonna take like 8. Am I even playing this guy? I mean, maybe, yeah, maybe you just want more revives. These all stack, right? So maybe we're just loading up on revives. I'm pretending that loading up on revives is like good. I'll say 120. Because it's like central to the army's whole purpose is playing a bunch of this stuff, so maybe 120. His spell isn't like complete ass, always. Sometimes you might cast it. And I don't think wizards should really ever be less than like 120. Feels a bit low, but look. Games Workshop clearly just disagrees with me. Casters that are amazing should just be 120 and 140, I guess. So I need to change the way I think. I need to change the way I'm thinking. So 120. That's my guess. You got it? 120. We got him. They got him. There it is. So they value the crawler buff the same as regen, which might be true. It's not the craziest buff. Unless you're playing like fucking harvesters and giving them rend or something, which I hope is good. I'm sure it won't be, but I secretly hope it's good. I want people to play like 3 harvesters and give them all like +2 rend. 1 rend from this guy, all 3 of them +1 rend from CA or something like that. They're chilling around Catacrows, just smashing and bashing. That's the dream. Mir Kanan, who looks awesome and has an awesome name, but unfortunately he's an Underworld's warband, so he's trapped. Nier Automata. Nier Automata. He has 8 wounds, big boy. 3 up save. Yo, this dude's a Chad. He's ready to fight. 5 attacks, 3s and 3s, 2-2. Dude, if people played the game at a points value of something like 320, this guy would be so awesome. If the rules of the game worked at points values that low, which they just don't. Bone Tithe. This unit has a tithe score that starts at 0 at the start of the battle each time an enemy model is slain by this unit's attacks. Useless. This guy, this whole, I'm sure, yeah, but, alright. Increase the unit's tithe score by 1. Let's go. Dude, 5 attacks, 2 damage? That's 10 damage. So, obviously, the first time he gets into combat, his tithe score is going to be 10, right? That's how this works? If the slain model has a wounds characteristic of 4 or more, increase it by 2 instead of 1. Okay, at the start of your hero phase, if this unit has a tithe score of 1 or more, you can reduce its tithe score by 1 if you do. Oh, you can't take it. Aw. You can't just spend all 10, huh? No blood tithe over here? Alright, you heard it here first. We looked at the OBR book, we're almost done. We looked at the corn book. Bone tithe, literally worse than blood tithe. Blood tithe, actually better than bone tithe. Oh, he gets to regen 3 dudes to this unit. That's cool. Add 1 attacks characteristic used by friendly Canaan's Reapers, but not himself. Sad. Yo, that's a lot of, look at, that's a lot of attack profiles, dude. +1 to attacks? That's 5 attacks. Oh, it's by this unit and the Reaper? That's 6 bonus attacks for 1 bone tithe. Can you even get value better than that? Dire Ultimatum. Oh, and he's a wizard? What the fuck? Okay. This guy is like so cool. Alright. He's so rad. He's fucking rad. He comes with dudes. He's a wizard. You have a little mini game to play if he ever gets into combat for any reason. 8 wounds, 3 up. He's kind of big. He's kind of large. Dire Ultimatum cast on a 4, range at 3. So his spell only works if he's in melee and hasn't died and it's rolled back around to your turn. But you can give him a lore spell. When he attacks me with melee weapons by that unit must target this unit. The range of this spell must be measured from the caster. Even if, yeah, you can't. So he has like taunt. He has taunt ability from World of Warcraft. And then his little boner boys here, the Reapers, just a bunch of little buddies running around. They got blades and halberds. One of them's got a bow. They can die for their master on a 2-up. They count as 3? Dude, this is what, 15? This is 12, maybe 15 dudes on one thing. Okay, so he doesn't actually do anything useful at all. But this is just a lot of stuff, right? They count as stuff. They got 4-up armor saves. He's big. You can give him a lore spell. If he's in combat on your opponent's turn and they don't kill him and they don't retreat and they stay in combat and it's a Death Star and then you win priority and then it's your turn and then in your hero phase you successfully cast his spell and then they don't unbind it, the Death Star has to attack him. That's amazing. Cool. What happens if you taunt something in combat away from him with Archon or Spell Portal? And then he gets boatmaned away? He's so cool. Squad goals. None of them really do anything. But they're like bodies that sort of fight, to be honest, and can stand places. And he's a wizard. Like he's a wizard. With a bodyguard. I don't know what Mortec Guard cost, and this guy comes with 5 Mortec Guard. So whatever, do the math on 5 Mortec Guard. Like, what's the Mortec Guard per model? Don't tell me, because it's a spoiler. But, yeah, he comes with 5 Mortec Guard worth of stuff, plus he himself is maybe like a... I don't know, 100-point guy. Even though he's not worth 100 points, but he kinda... He's got enough wounds and saves and attack profiles that even though none of it ever matters, it's sort of worth... Yeah, fuck it, like 150 for the package. We'll make it real tempting for people. Since none of it actually does anything, we gotta make it real tempting on the points. Because you're paying for stuff kind of standing around. He is a wizard. And again, I costed the other wizards that don't even have bodyguards at like 120 and stuff like that. And 160. I think because of the rules of the game of Age of Sigmar, and how many, like 5 Mortec Guard plus a dude, even though they don't do anything, I just think it just has to cost. It just has to cost. Even though if it costs the proper amount, you'll never take it. You know, 180. $250. Wait, that's not true, right? You're memeing? Or you're guessing? Nope. 250 is the real... Okay. I mean, there was no way. There just wasn't a way, right? They couldn't point them so that someone would actually want to play them, because then you're kind of breaking the point system for number of wounds and stuff. Which is the problem with making War Scrolls so bad. One of the problems with making War Scrolls so bad is that if you point them with the intent of enticing a player to use them in the game, it sometimes breaks the point system for just simply number of wounds on the table that have attack profiles and stuff. He can taunt at 9? Oh, I thought this... Ooh. Hold up. I thought this range of this thing, I thought this caveat here would stop Archon from working, but it only stops Umbral Spell Portal. Hold on. Alright. Are we way too expensive but a pet unit? Combo. 9-inch taunt with Archon. We've entered way too expensive pet unit territory, because now there's a combo. There's a combo. That's all the pet unit people needed. Yeah. When this is changed, he will go back to being an absolute joke, because it will be changed. Yeah, him and Archon chilling behind a screen. Melee Death Star. That somehow stopped 9 inches. Maybe they failed their 9-inch charge last turn, you know? I mean, look at this dude. Look at him. Look at the guy. You want me to tell you that he's playable somehow, right? I'm giving you your out. Before the FAQ, you can render a melee Death Star that failed a 9-inch charge and just stood in the center of an open field. When it rolled back around to your turn, you can make him do no damage ever. He's in. Soul Mason. Alright. Morphin Soul Maidan. 6 wounds, 4 up save. No. He is a dope caster. He is a double casty. Knows all spells. So we got a double caster, knows all spells. Alright, well every other spellcaster in this army just became useless. Because Cockmortion's 140 with the same thing. I mean, maybe you take a Bone Boner, but I'm not sure. He's going to be better than the Taxman, and no one's ever going to take the Taxman. I'm calling it first. He's going to be better than the Taxman. And so even though the Taxman was actually pretty cool and pretty well costed, it won't matter. Because first is the best. He also has a mount. Yo. Rerolls charges? On that mount? Yeah. The chair rerolls charges in the one sub-faction. Alright, I'm putting that as a dot. That's in there. He's got a little like shifter on it, you know? Puts that shit in the 6th gear. Mortek Throne. At the end of your hero phase, roll a die for this unit. On a 1, nothing happens. Awesome. End of your hero phase. Roll. Stally Arc Lords, that's it. Chair rerolls charges and stallions. Remember it. 2 to 5, it can immediately attempt to cast Soul Guide, even if it has already tried to cast it, that spell. On a D6, you can immediately try it D3 times. I disagree with this. So, you shouldn't get it D3 times. There should be no situation where you roll a 6 on this, and then you end up just using it. You're just getting it the same number of times as the 2 through 5. If you roll a 6, it should always be better than 2 to 5 here. You know? That's like the bad Christmas. It's the bad type of Christmas. You get a present and you open it and it's bad. And you're like, okay. Presents should be good. Baseline. So this should just say 2. It should just say 2 times. Right? It's never worse, but it's just, oh, well then why did you bother with me rolling yet another die if the same thing was going to happen as 2 through 5? I don't know. 2 through 5. Cast Guide again, free. 6. Cast Guide again, free. Or twice. Or 3 times. Oh, spell's good. It's a buff. Buff detected. It's holy, right? Yeah. Morte Guard or Death Riders? I mean, it's +1 wound melee. Nice. +1 to wound in melee is a good buff. Considering you have a bunch of easy ways to get +1 to hit already. You got the normal CA. You got Catacross if you're playing him. You got +1 to hit lockdown. This is just giving you 2s and 2s, right? Not hitting Stalkers is sad. True. Fuck Stalkers, Horse is good. I want both to be good. There should be a pretty good reason to play things that they're selling you in the game. This guy's great. How does he compare? So he's a 4-up save, double caster, knows all spells, has a buff. You can just cast 2 spell lores if you want. If you don't think his buff is that great, you just cast 2 spell lores. He knows all of them. His chair rerolls charges and stallions. That's worth 10 points. Sometimes you can cast the spell more than once, which is cool. And you can give him stuff, and you can't give Cock Martian stuff. Where's that guy? Yeah, you can't give him anything. This guy requires your opponent pay the troll toll to kill him. That's fun. And might actually matter sometime. It might matter. Finger of Dust is hilarious. But no fun allowed. Locked in the Praetorians. Well, if I said that he was 140, I am required by law to say that this guy is more expensive because he's better, and he's not locked into anything. Which is a pity because I said he was 160. But he was 140. So now that I know that, I'm saying... Should I just say this guy is 120 because he probably is? No, I'm saying 140. I know it doesn't make any internal sense. Because this guy should be more expensive. I'm doing it. I'm doing the guesses that make sense. 150. Because Cock Martian is 140, and ain't no fucking way this guy should be cheaper. Or even the same. He's 140, yeah, I figured. 160 is the actual points? What? Alright, I guessed wrong. Because I didn't think their points would be right. He costs as much as a butcher. He's a triple caster up to a 5 caster. He's really a double caster. With an ability, I think. But that's really good. I'm getting the gamer down on the guesses. Yeah, but I'm fucking myself up. I forgot that the way to truly guess is by to actually guess. Don't think, just guess. He's still worth 160 probably. I think he really is. Yeah. I mean, he's 20 more than a butcher, but... Alright, I'm gonna lay off this butcher talk. Gothazar Harvester, the big. He's a dinosaur, I guess. The Gothosaur Harvester. 10 wounds, 4 up. Alright, so... Six-inch move? Ugh. Ugh. He sucks. I'm just saying it. He sucks. 6-inch no flying. Monster? Bad. Bad. I don't even have to read anything else. I know he's bad, but let's read on. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, the army's supposed to be slow. So he's got 16-inch range, 4 attacks to do kind of something. He's got 6 attacks, 3s and 3s, 2, 2. And 4 attacks, 3s and 3s, 1, 2. Now we're buffing this rend in a lot of ways, right? His real movement is 9. It just cost a CA to do it, which is still way too slow for a monster that can't fly. But it's not embarrassing. Well, actually, it kind of is. But that's fine. So these rend values are low. This is like rend 4 maybe, depending, but still just 2 damage. Let's load him up. Let's load him up. Catacross +1 attacks. Liege Cavalos +1 attacks. Or just 2 Liege Cavaloses for +1 attacks. Or 5 Liege Cavaloses for +5 attacks, right? Something like that. And you got the ossified by my model guy for +1 the rend. You got command ability for +1 the rend. So this dude could have 10 attacks, 2s and 2s, rend 4, damage 2, or something like that. No, never mind. You can't repeat on the same guy. It's not that type of limit break. So really, he can only get +1 attack. That's too bad. Switch hats, sure. What is this like easy listening radio? The name of this song is called Violent Breathing. I don't think the song sounds violent, but okay. He does get exploding hits, right? What is this? Persona? Aria of the Soul? A weird mix. Roll a die each time a slain model within 6 of this unit is removed from play. If the slain model is within range of more than 1 friendly unit with this ability, you must... Yeah, you can't double dip. And then even then on a 4-up, you can heal or... You can heal up to 3 or... Notice how it doesn't say enemy. It says a slain model. So when your own guys die, you can do this. No one's been allocated to the unit you picked, you can return. So is this like, if Gothosaur Harvester is just chilling behind Mortek Guard, everyone that dies, there's a 50-50 chance that they instantly come back to life. And then it's your turn and the squad is just full. Because you have 3 heroes that regen. And a command ability if you want. And rally if you want. So the way this army plays is You have a Gothazar Harvester, and then a Blob. And then unless you 100% kill the blob is at full life. It just is. That's it. End of story. Somehow, when it rolls back around to the OBR player's turn, their squad is full. Because you get 4 up return. You get 4 up return, 6 up rally, D3 heal, D3 heal, D3 heal, D3 heal, D3, you know, on and on and on. And then it's just full. And then we're in crematory. Dude, the cream rises to the top. Then we're in crematorians. Everyone that dies is like a mortal wound, although not really because it's a 5-up. So all of them that die do mortal wounds, and then they instantly come back to life. Here, this is it, the engine, the fucking furnace. What rhymes with park and has to do with reanimation? Yeah, I can't think of anything. Bark doesn't really work. Just, yeah, I guess park him and churn. Just churn. Any crematorians? Also, they're like okay at fighting. Actually up to just +1 attacks. And I already said that. Works on opponents' guys too if you're killing your opponent's stuff. Monster. He is a factory. So your guys that die bring guys back and heal. And or heal. Opponents' guys who die bring guys back and or heal. And he's slow, but that's fine because he's buff wagon. He's not like a fighting monster. He's a what do you call it? Death Star buff wagon.
Good job, King.
Old Gray Pelt, thanks for the big hat. I appreciate it. TY. Thanks for the purchase. You're gonna look good. Condor 364, thanks for the tier 1 for 7 months. Big, good comment. So you are not for being like a monster. You're a buff wagon, which makes the speed fine. Because it's like 9 if you want it to be. Switch hats? Sure, yeah, that's right. Dude did buy it, so I gotta ship that one off. And he has a shoot that's, you know, you're rolling some dice. These guys, I remember, used to cost 200 points. I'm scared of the Bone Harvest, but look, if you're scared of the Bone Harvest, just kill him, right? Just kill him. And if you can't reach him because there's too many Mortec Guard in the way, well, win on points or shoot him. Just shoot him. Four-up safe isn't that great, but you got a bunch of defensive options in the army now. Well, not now. Always kind of had. Zero thought. Brain turned off. 220. That's the guess. 240 is kind of floating around in my head as well. 210? Alright. 10-point Andy. So close. So close. This shit is cool. I don't know if it'll end up being like the build that people play, but I think it's cool. Refresh page. Alright. They added stuff. Oh, battalions. Nice. So, 1 horse lord, 2 other heroes maybe. Up to 5 troops. Oh, 2 monsters and 2 artillery? And it's unified? At the end of deployment, each unit in this battalion must be set up within 6 inches of 2 or more units in the same battalion. Okay. So you can't, you have to deploy in an actual, they force you to deploy in an actual Death Star. But you just put your whole fucking army in there. You know, I'll take 2 of those, 5 of those. You're like a little 1-drop, you know. You probably wanna, I don't know, you could be a 2-drop too, but get boned done. Very interesting. Yo, this army got a battalion. It's so rare to get a battalion in 3rd. Alright, we can do this. That's cool. Yeah, I should say triangles as well. 1-drop fits basically everything except 2 big heroes, but they must deploy as a literal Death Star or little triangle zones. Very interesting. And cool. Interesting and cool. I like it. Yeah, Triforces. Well, that guy's cool. He's a cool dude. Moving on. You're a buyer for Mr. Stallone. Hey Rambo, you got any family anywhere? Your father maybe, I don't know. I love that fucking part. Your father maybe, I don't know. Okay, Mortec Guard. And it's reordered now. Ugh. Am I passing up anything I haven't seen yet, though? With the reorganization? I don't think so. Archon the Black gets a proper, this gets a proper instead of just the War Scroll cards. Yeah, okay. I think I'm good. More technically guard. Ooh, alright. I thought maybe 2 wounds, but they're 1 wound. 144. .25 mil base. You cannot say it louder. Should have been 32. They're too small. I said it. There's supposed to be multiple warrior souls in here. Mortec Guard should have been 32 and larger. That's what I'm saying. One model in this unit can be a Mortec Hecatos. So Hecatos is just the champion. So that other thing that referenced to Hecatos is the champion. Constant Screamin' just watched Vampire D Bloodlust in preparation for the Soul Blight leaks. Thanks for the recommendation. It was a great movie. Yeah, I mean it's part of that old era of anime. Back when they used to do most of it by hand. Well, it was right on the cusp of putting some of the computer stuff in there, but you can tell the ludicrous amount of work put into there. And it was just a fun, like, popcorn movie, I thought. 1 to run in charge rolls. You can finally give this guy his Great Blade because Naderite lost the thing that wasn't fun. You can use the command ability at the start of the command phase. Sorry, combat. Ignore modifiers, positive and negative to save rolls for attacks target this unit in that phase. Huh, okay. So... immune to rend. So you have like an unrendable 4-up, 6-up. I mean, they weren't going to get reroll. They weren't going to keep that, right? So that's the same thing as all-out defense against Rend 1. Against higher Rend values, I suppose Shield Wall is better. Only works in the combat phase just like it used to. The weakness of it before was that it was only during combat. They're 4-up, 6-up, 4-up. If you have a Harvester behind them, if you're harvesting, if they're factory guards, they got 4-up, 6-up, 4-up. Pour one out for Shield Wall, I suppose. They're on that 3s and 4s game, but I don't think range 1 is that big of a deal here. I would actually not take the spears. They're on 25 mil bases. I think it's fine. Unless you're using like humongo units. You're gonna be chilling on like 2s and 3s a lot of the time, because there's a lot of wound buffs in this army now. It used to be the case that there were no wound buffs in the entire army, and you were just always on 4s. If you take 20 of them and you're on 3s and 3s, Rend 1, damage 1, exploding hits, Alright. More technically guard. 4 up. 4-inch move. 25 mil bases. Having 25 millimeter bases is like so important that you actually put it in the stats of the thing, because it affects the game so much. 1 wound. No, I didn't mean and. I meant nad. Nadarite. You can finally take the cool weapon due to nad change. Shield wall for... essentially ethereal. A unit of 20 with spears is 40 attacks. Maybe 3s and 3s. Sometimes 60 attacks if you're chosen from a liege or something like that. And they got exploding hits. So 60 attacks, 40 hit if it's on 3 up. And then like 32 wound or something like that. Or I mean 30 wound if on 3 ups. Every 6 is an extra wound roll. Opponent rolls a million saves against Rend 1. That's what they do. You throw buckets of dice at your opponent. Okay. Buckets of dice for attacking. Rend 1, damage 1. You can have Rend 2. Can you have more than Rend 2 though? I think it's just Rend 2. Rend 1 or 2. They can absorb +1 attack, +1 wound, +1 hit, and +1 Rend. You can quad buff them if you want. Full buff is +1 attack, +2 Rend, or sorry, +1 Rend. Can we, and then 5 up, explode? Oh yeah, the spell that's -1 armor. That's what I was thinking. So 2 Rend. So you can do 60 attacks. Threes.
Twitch prawn.
Rend 3. Damage 1. And you get, of the 60 attacks, 20 additional ones wound. And if they hit on 3s, it's basically like you're rolling. It's like all your attacks hit, kind of, right? Because if you hit 60 times, you're going to hit 40, but then you're going to get 20 extras. That's sort of like 60 wound rolls, of which you have 3 up, which is half of them. So your opponent is rolling Is your opponent rolling 30 saves, Rend 3? 61 attacks? Yeah, technically 61 attacks, but yeah. 30 dudes, you have 91 attacks? I'm pretending it's a unit of 20. Getting all 30, getting like a unit of 30 of them and having all of them getting there, I don't know. I'm going with a 20 of them with the spears kind of sure thing. Because who knows the terrain, who knows if 30 of them can fit around the thing. I'm not doing the absolute best, I'm just applying all the buffs to something that I know I can like very often get. Yeah, we're having an opponent roll 30 save. This is one reinforced. This is only a unit of 20 on the spears. Opponent's rolling 30 saves against run 3. Yeah, unit of only 20. These guys are gonna regen to hell and back. Yeah, they are, because they're one wound, so they get to come back. They get to come back free. You can Factorio them with a Harvard Soar. With a Gothazar Harvard Soar. I mean, they're slow as fuck, but really they're move 7. You gotta pay the bone tithe too, but really their movement is 7. Harvester Stallone? I like that one better. I like it better. Where is this guy? What did I call him? Gothazar Harvest? Yeah. Gothasaur. Harvester Stallone. Stabone. Alright, there we go. I kind of like these guys if the price is right. Can you harvest models to increase movement? Yes. The way it's written way up here, the first time I got to one of those, you can harvest the CA to harvest units. Or not the harvester guy, but like the CA to return stuff. You can put them in front and get like an extra, I don't know, inch of movement or something. They come in, yeah, I figured they come in 10s. So let's think of all the resources you could pour into them, if you must. Just looking at them on War Scroll, it's like, yeah, 2 attacks, 3s and 4s, rend 1, damage 1, 4 up save, 1 wound. These are like they're like Stormcast only bad, right? But they can absorb something like 6 times the number of buffs the Liberators can. 130 for 10. You kind of have to point in all the buffs they're getting, right? That's the problem with them. And maybe if you don't put the buffs on them now, you're overpaying, right? That's the problem. Can't put everything on everyone all at once. Well, you can, but you might run out of CA. The buffs cost the units they're attached to. Can't double dip buff cost. It depends, right? You gotta choose. I suppose you could just cut it in half, I guess, and give half to one and half. Like if this dude should be 60 more, then the hero's 30 more and the unit is 30 more. I mean, you could do that, but what does an army look like? Because battle line is important. Like, what is an army size supposed to look like? Yeah, I'm actually thinking like 130. Wait, if it's 130, how much is a unit of 30? A unit of 20 is 260. A unit of 30 is 390. That's a lot. That's a fifth of your army. That's like 10 gluttons. I don't know. $130 is a fair and just amount, so they're like 150 and unplayable. I wouldn't go so far as to point them at 150. That's nuts. No way. I was thinking 120 maybe, but then I'd have to raise the cost on the heroes. And we know the cost on the heroes already. And it's everything less than I thought. Except Archcavalos Los Angeles. Yeah, I was gonna do 130. Well, I was gonna do 120, but you talked me into 130. $390 is a lot for 30, but kinda you're gonna get a lot of value out of them coming back to life. That's like what? It's like 600 points for a. That's 600 points for a blob that's probably never gonna die the whole game. That might be on the cheap side for a blob that's never gonna die the entire game. Yeah, as you said, 600 points for a blob with Harvester. That's a lot of your army. It's almost a third of it. I feel like you're not taking 30 of these anyway. I would be taking 20, at least as I'm reading this right now. Maybe that changes, but I'm taking 20s. And blobs at 20 are 260 plus 200 for the dude. You also have to compare the cost of dudes buffing them versus just taking 10 more. So if 20 of them are 260 and the harvester is 210, you're almost within the ballpark of, do I want a harvester or do I want another 20 of them? And since conceivably a harvester gives you another 20 over the course of 2 battle rounds or something like that, plus all your regen. Yeah. For Mortec guards specifically, we've reached a guy that I can't just guess. I would need to actually think about it. I'd need to actually play some and see what happens on the table. How many of them come back? How easily do they die? How much damage does it really do? This one I would really have to play test. I mean, I'm saying 130, but I actually don't know. I would need to see it in action. 150? Okay. Yeah. Feels high, but I don't know. I'd need to play him or see him. Feels high, though. Maybe I'll put a note here. Feels... Do I say quite high? Is 150 quite high for this? Feels high, but I need to see how far 20 to 30 will go for you. Yeah, my questions are, Feels high, but I need to see how far 20 or 30 will go. How many do you actually get in total over the course of a game with Harvester or Rally or CA, Hero 1, 2, 3? How many pink horrors, in other words, are hidden within this seemingly bad Stormcast unit? Harvester will get you half back. Yeah, just straight up, right? I mean, the Harvester's got a huge bullseye. It's almost not even worth attacking the Mortec at all until the Harvester is dead, but just consider you have 20 of them. Your opponent kills 20, and 10 are immediately back. You instantly got 75 points back for nothing, right? I don't know. Yeah, I need to play with it and see. If any of the other foot units are like good and well costed, then you probably don't bother. But I need to see. We have a shitload of attacks. Alright. Immortus Guard. Immortan Joard. These are the four-arm dudes with the humongous shields that I wished were good, but they were terrible before. Yeah, this is kind of nice. I feel like I got this sudden craving for a real Cubano, like a real Cubano. Some fucking coffee, a little spice in there. Alright, 5 wounds, 3 up save, big. Alright, so 5 wound, 3 up, 5-inch parenthetical, 8-inch move. Two-inch range, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2. If a friendly, so they can 3 attack. You get these in 3s, I imagine. So 9 attacks. They're elite. So 9 attacks, 4.5 hit, and then 2.25 wound. And then opponent passes a save and fails a save and takes 2 damage. So these guys do 2 damage. They could have 12 attacks. And they could have rend fucking a million. If a friendly Ozark Bone Reaper's hero is within 3 of this unit. Damn. I wanted to put these in front of a Harvester. I tell you what. Oh, and they're Hecatos too. Hecatos keyword detected. Before you allocate a wound or mortal wound to the hero, 2 up. Jesus. 2 up bodyguard. Holy fuck, that's a good bodyguard. 2 up? Jesus. Crushing asphalt. You can use command ability once per battle after this unit is fought for the first time. The command can only be issued by a model in this unit. Can fight for a second time. But now it's not a shield bash, which was bad before. But they get the strike last. Yeah, okay. I sleep. At least they don't get the stupid shield things. Let me think. So really, these are purely bodyguards. They're big old bodyguards. The one time they get into combat, they double pile in. If they're still alive, they get to fight again. Did they lose mortal wounds? Oh, 180 seems like a lot for a bodyguard unit, right? But this is a shitload of wounds. It's 15 wounds on a 3-up. Well, you have 15 ablative wounds, essentially. And keep in mind, everything in this army heals 1,000,000, right? Every time it becomes the OBR player's turn, his whole army is at full life. So there's that, right? I always have to keep that in mind when I'm thinking about stuff in here. Every time it's the OBR player's turn, all of his squads are at full life and his Immortus Guard are back up to full, right? They body block your squishy wizards by being more expensive probably than the wizards themselves. Yeah. But they are battle lines, so that fixes that problem entirely. Damn, now they got me playing scared and I'm ready to add 20 to everything because of all the regen. $180 at max. 180 max. That would be 60 points a model. Are these 60 points a model? 5 wounds, 3-up save, some standard foot hero attacks, a good bodyguard roll, and a double pile in, but also battle line? Yeah, I think the battle line costs it. If these weren't battle line, I'd make them 160 in a fucking heartbeat, but battle line is really, that's a big deal. I say 180. Cheaper than Savers. Literally everything in the whole game is cheaper than Savers. They're the most overcosted unit in the entire game. 210 is the answer. 200. Oh, I'm getting different. Am I gonna have to look? I don't want to look at the page because then they're 200. Okay. 20 more than I thought. So, do I spend 200 on a Mortis Guard for some 400-point hero, making that hero cost 600 now? Or do I take like a Harvester for 200? It seems like their Enabler Protector guys are just kind of like 200s. You're not paying. Oh, you. It seems like you're typing what I was typing. Yeah, I'm not paying 200 to make a 400-point hero 600. Or some shit wizard. But maybe I do it if they're battle line and I'm trying to skate by on not having a lot of battle line. Like maybe. This is fine. If Mortic Guard are 150. How do these compare now? We have 2 battle line. Let's compare them. 150 for more technically guard. So 10 of those guys, right? Which is 20 attacks, possibly 30. Which is 15 saves. Ren 3. Versus 9 attacks, possibly 12. Which is... you can Nadirite them. So it's like 6 or 4.5 saves at Rend fucking 4 or something like that. Okay. Fighting twice to double it. If they live, yeah. I mean, they probably will live. 15 wounds, 3 up. It's pretty good after an initial hit. It's a lot of wounds and armor. Fighting twice the fights last. Yeah, but... And so, like, normally the problem with fights last is you have to actually live until you fight last. But these guys, just on paper, are kind of beefy. And then consider all the shit you can give them from the rest of OBR. Like, it's becoming more and more likely that they might actually live through that. What's Petrifex? -1 damage. Oof. So, literally better than +1 armor half the time. Or maybe even less than half the time. My vision is skewed by playing ogres. Yeah, okay. Feel a touch expensive. But I don't know how brutal the regen healing is, the regen or reinvigoration is going to be on the table. I'm not sure how that's going to feel. Both of these feel a touch expensive to me, but I haven't seen the factory in action, and I think that's going to really depend. Now we got Necropolis Stalkers. Necropolitan Shit Talkers. 5 wounds, 4 up, 6-inch move. Quad damage. Will it blend? Yeah, the Blendermen. Uh, 6-inch move, pardon me. Slightly faster than these guys. Technically 9-inch move, depending. 1 in every 3 is armed with a Dad Falchion. Which is... No, that's better. Yeah, that's better. 3-inch range, 2 damage instead of 1. That's worth 1 fewer attack. Quadrarch... alright. At the start of the combat phase, you must pick 1. Oh, there we go. Okay. Add 1 to hit rolls. No, we will not be doing that. Add 1 to save rolls. Probably won't be doing that. Add 1 to wound rolls. We're getting that buff elsewhere. Add 1 to damage. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. +1 damage. I'll take it. Probably never choosing any of these. +1 damage. Let's go. We're in. That's what I was waiting to see. So Dad Falchions are 3 dam. Spirit Blades are 2. Straight double the damage output. You get 6 of them. You would have to put them in the stupid battalion, because the Spirit Blades are still only 1-inch range, which is embarrassing for a unit with base sizes as big as theirs. Anyway, 6 of them are going to do a shitload of damage, considering Natterite doubles them up. Flats did the math earlier. Yeah, 41 dam to a 2-up save. That's what I figured. Something around there. Oh, wait, you're right. Yeah, they have too many wounds. Maybe you can still do it. If you go, like, 4 up front and then 2, so it's connecting all those... So you're good in coherency. The 2 guys in back have 3 inches. I think you can do it. You put the Falchions in the back. They're in the second row. They all swing. This is the second Chrono Trigger song. You need to know the mixed channel. If I tell you, you'll never watch my... You'll have no reason to watch my channel. But also, every time I alt-tab, it's on the screen for like 1 millisecond. I guess I could just tell you. It is. Video Game Study Lounge. Game chops. Anyway, they fucking slap. You hold the shoulder buttons to slap shit like it's Mortal Kombat 10 or 11, whichever the fuck one. Hunt and kill. You can use this command ability in your hero phase. To your next hero phase, this unit can run and still charge. Yes, I did want run and charge. Thank you. In addition, oh, there's more? I was happy with just that, but keep going. To your next hero phase, models in this unit can pass across terrain as though they could fly. Ooh, that's really good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, you can't pass screening units, but in the effort to actually get to where the opponent is, passing across terrain is big. It depends. Depends on what the table looks like. You can't leap over screens, but yeah, in this army, we're going to have to really figure out exactly in what phase are all these command abilities, because usually you just have to worry about combat, but in this army you have so many of them, you're going to have to figure out what it stacks and doesn't stack with. So you can't get the +1 attacks if you run and charge. Which, I don't know, that feels like balanced, right? You can either choose reach or damage. It feels reasonable to have to choose between those things in the whole game. I'm not necessarily saying just these guys and the rest of the game doesn't have to pick. But like in the whole game, that makes sense. It makes sense to have to choose between reach or speed or damage, right? They're all sort of a triangle. Yeah, I like that you juice in the hero so you can stack a bunch of stuff. I like them. I don't know what they cost, and I like them. You're gonna redeploy the fuck away from these guys, though? True, you are. You are. You'll say 180 again? These are so much better than these guys. They're so much better than Immortal Guard. With full buffs, these guys do 41 damage, so they're like Iron Guts, basically. They're like Iron Guts that do a little more damage. Well, more than, like 20% more damage than an Iron Gut unit. In min size. And Iron Guts are the same speed if you give them a CA in the movement phase. Basically the same save, basically the same wounds, similar damage. Iron Guts have slow double pile-in, these guys have a CA that they optionally can use. Iron Guts have 1 buff to absorb, these guys have 7 or something. Iron Guts are in the Ogre book? Oh, you're right. Do we compare them to Annihilators or something, I guess? Maybe that's fair. Maybe we compare them to Annihilators. It's just like Ren 2 after a CA or something. Like Ren 2 multi-damage shit slappers in a 3-man squad. Worse save, more wounds. You know, blah blah blah. They have to cost more than Immortal Guard, because Immortal Guard are literally worse. Yeah, 220. My guess is 220. Because Annihilators are 240. And arguably better / worse, it actually really depends, so I'm just going to say 220. Yeah, 220 is fair. However, after typing this, ain't never buying this ever. No way. It's Necropolitan shit talkers all the way. I'm in. Also, they can be battle line? Are you kidding me? Wait, these can be battle line, right? Alright. In like Flynn. Looked at that guy already. Oh, Cavalo's Death Riders. How many wounds we got here? 3 wounds, 4 up. Three attacks a model, or spears if you want that, which I assume they're getting like a bonus dam on the charge or something like that. After this unit makes a charge move, you can pick 1 enemy within 1. Oh, they got 5 up ogre hits, so they got the same hits as ogres. And can move. Oh, they get the cool thing. They get the cool thing just like the other guy. So ogre impacts 5 up, plus 3-inch pile in, which will help for the weapon reach. You can use command ability in the charge phase. Models in this unit can pass across other models with the wounds characters go 3 or less. Speaking of jumping over chaff screens, here we go. No charge damage bonus. In which case, I'm not ever taking spears, I don't think. Maybe to reach over a chaff screen that was placed in a good enough way so that I can't jump over it and land. Is that worth hitting on 3s instead of 2s after buffs? I wonder. I don't know, kind of depends. Fly over chaff on the charge CA, you love to see it. Do you get 3 of these, or I think you get 5? You get 5 of these, right? 5s? Okay. 15 wounds on a 4-up. They're pigs. 15 attacks, 3s and 4s. Rend a bunch. 2s and 3s maybe. Plus 5 attacks if you use that one thing. Their movement is 10 or 13, depending. Just dangerously close to, like, Frostlord speed. And their hooves and teeth do do nothing. These guys don't do, like, terrific damage, you know? They're doing, like, what? I guess they get bonus, like 5 damage, maybe? They look like heavy cav, but actually they're kind of like light cav. In that they're supposed to, like... If you roll hot, you're supposed to be able to kill a 10-man chaff unit and take an objective 13 away. You know. Like, the look of them is that of a heavy cavalry unit, but actually they're light cav. They're supposed to go somewhere, maybe kill a chaff screen, and just barely take over a objective somewhere. Kind of like the Lumineth horsies that look really awesome, but nobody plays them. That being said, yeah, the crematorium. You know, crematorium has me checking the wounds characteristic of the units in the army. I'm not gonna lie. Oh yeah, I forgot that I got this actually correct. So we write that there. How do they compare to other light cav? I don't know because I'm trying to guess their cost in a little mini game right now. But afterwards I'll be able to tell you. Reroll charge in the one battalion or in the one sub faction, or roll a bunch of dice in the crematorians one. Possibly counter charge, I guess, in the other thing. Pretty good movement. Not the most damage. So if these dudes are 200, 220, if Mortek are 150. Are the Beth Riders better than Mortek? Yes and no. Mortek get to absorb 100% of all of the recursion in your entire army. These guys don't, but they're not supposed to do that. Yeah, it's like 5 fast Mortek. More or less. I don't know, 150 or 60. 15 wounds on a 4-up, 10 inch move. 13 maybe. No, they got impact hits. Alright, they got impact hits. That's worth 10 points. What do we got? 170. Is this fair, though? Death Riders are only there to score the VT. I don't think only, but... Okay, maybe only. Maybe only. Do we take them? I guess you do. You just get the tactic. They're alright. I'm not excited. It doesn't spark joy, but they're alright. Mortek Crawler, alright. Kind of sad they cost this much, but costing less within the context of the other battle line options is impossible. Yeah. Straight up crematorians with Nagash is like maybe not a meme. They charge for mortal wounds, die for mortal wounds, and come back, and their charge doesn't care about the unit size. Yeah. I'm interested in the person who makes like Nagash crawler and then just all Mortec guard or something. I'm gonna run out of points really quickly in this army. 9 whatever for Nagash is too much though. The value you get back from him is you get a lot of value back from him, but on paper it feels like you're 200 points overpaying. When there's already shit like Keklis in the game. For 200 less, that arguably does more for the army. Maybe that's a problem with him and not a problem with Nagash, but then again, haven't seen much of that guy for a while, so... Alright, 12 wounds, 4/4. Has a minimum range like the old school... what is it called? Catapults and stuff. The Foda. So min ranges. So your opponent can counterplay and just fuck them. Unless you are, you know, properly positioning stuff for the most part. And you're not playing someone too fast. So you can choose different types. Each time it shoots, choose either thing, or thing. So 2d6 attacks, I hate that. That sucks. An average of 7, I suppose, is the most likely, but who the fuck knows? And then there are 3s and 3s, no rend 2. Who am I going to use that against? No one. Maybe Chaff, I guess. It's like the get lucky on 2d6, then get lucky on 3s to hit and wound, and opponent maybe has 5 or 6 to save on their stupid Chaff, and then it's like 2 damage each, so they're losing a lot of Chaff. Yeah, you can explode hits on these with the new guy. I don't know. I hate 2d6 attacks so much. Maybe I'm... Oh, it's only 18 inches for that, too. But then again, their Chaff's going to be in front. That's the whole point. Explode with guy. First Chaff Slayer, second... I don't know what the second one's for. If you don't, I don't know. You have rend 1, I suppose. It's kind of like the same as this one, except with slightly longer range, and you're guaranteed a 4 instead of hoping for a 7. I suppose you have rend. Wait a minute. Kinda same, to be honest. Except 24-inch range. And then the third one is a single attack, 2s and 3s, so that'll miss. But it does D3 plus 3. After this unit shoots, roll a die for each enemy unit that was targeted by the unit's attacks in that phase. Oh, hold up. After this unit shoots, roll a die for each that was targeted, not dealt damage to, but targeted. Add 2 if it was all. Okay, on a 5-up strike last. Very interesting. I know it's only a 5-up, I suppose. But I like the idea of targeting 5 different enemy units and seeing which one gets to fight last, and then you move. No, you move before charge. So you've already moved. You've already lined up your charges. By the time you know whether you're going to get lucky on the 5-up or not, you've already moved in position to be able to charge whatever. Of course, you could... I mean, it certainly just lasts on a turn, yeah. So, I think you just use the single shot. Use the single shot. All of your attacks have targeted. 3-up it fights last. You know, if you hit, cool, you do good damage. If you don't, alright, get owned. But now one guy fights last, and then you charge 2 of their units. Everybody fights before the opponent, and that's like you just set up the sure thing. Yeah, I think maybe you just do the mega shot, even though it's like the Timmy answer. You might just do the mega shot and line up a fight last. It's still just a 3-up. Can't fight, minimum range, slow. Damage doesn't look like it's there. The buff guy gives it exploding hits, I suppose, but you're not rolling enough attacks for that to matter unless you get really lucky. But then since it's artillery, if you point cost it what it should cost, then players can probably spam it, which you don't want. And they're behooved to, because then you're deadly barraging more and more. $150, maybe. Yeah, I think my guess is 150. It has a min range. It's really not doing much unless you get lucky. And yeah, it's here for a random. It's here for like a random fight last kind of thing that only lasts on your turn. Yeah, 150 for sure. If this thing is even approaching Skull Cannon or Iron Blaster, they're out of their goddamn minds. Even in a slow army with good defense like OBR. 200? Jesus, pass. No thanks. 200 is a lot. But, you know, maybe you're not supposed to give this army amazing artillery. Iron Blaster pricing? I mean, Iron Blasters are good. They're really good. Iron Blasters are so good that Ogres are good. Keep that in mind. And then compare this thing to an Iron Blaster. For once, the turntables, right? For once the tables have turned, I can compare this to an Ogre unit, and the Ogre one just shits on this. For the same cost. Already looked at Gothazar Harvester. Oh, the Morghast. Both of the Morghasts. You got a full night's sleep, and the stream is still going. God damn. Oh yeah, we have been online for like 7 hours and 40 minutes or so. You know what the cool thing is? 100 people have been watching like the whole time. That's impressive. It's even more impressive for a viewer than for me to be streaming this long. It was like 130 for a while. We're still over 100. Big. I guess people want to know about OBR, and so far it's been like, I'm gonna be honest, OBR book. Some of the points of your like troop stuff feel like 20 high in a vacuum, but there's an asterisk next to that. I really need to see how big this regen is. Everything else looks awesome. I'm like hype about shit in here. It's looking good. Six wound, 4 up, 10 fly. Good start. Elite, good start. Each model in the unit is armed with one of the following weapon options: halberd or sword. So either 2-inch reach, 3 attacks, 3s and 3s, 2-3, damn, or 1-inch range, 5-3-3-1-2. Okay. These have what, 60 millimeter bases, I think. I think they're on 60. Maybe 50. No, maybe it is. I think it is 50. These are not 60. They are 60. Okay. Damn, I thought I second guessed myself. So you take the spirit halberds. You just do. I'm glad we've had this talk. You take the big weapons. You take 6 of them. They have 2-inch reach. You load them up with all the buffs. And they are... These are Annihilators, a 10-inch move, right? They just... Oh, they're Badlines, right. Are they Badline if you have Archon as well? Yeah. These are Annihilators with 10-inch flying move. Enemy units cannot receive commands while they're within 3 of any friendly units of this ability. Oh, that's good. So far, they've only printed this sentence on units with like 6-up armor that suck in every way. They finally printed it on a unit that looks okay. No commands within 3, auto for fucking free. Holy shit. Like, they've only given this to, like, fucking Gorgers and some cultist warband that if they're ever... And then they've given them ranges where it's like if they're ever in combat, they're just dead. They've only ever given this to trash units that die instantly. Well, maybe some of them aren't trash, but they all die. These dudes. Oh yeah, Epitome has it. Pardon me. They've only given it to trash units and then Epiphany. In addition, they've given it to Epitome. After buffs, you would imagine that swords do more, given more attacks. Yeah, probably. To be honest, 6 attacks a model, 2s and 2s, Rend 3, damage 2 is probably better than 4 attacks, 2s and 2s, Rend 4, damage 3. I don't know. The bases are huge. Maybe the people are copiuming about running 6 of them or something. Yo, if they have 2-inch range, can they even? Can they even? I don't think they can. Why would you? Yeah, 60mm base. I don't think you can even. You're like fly fishing to get over the fucking base of the dude in front of you. You can't do it. Maybe you could do some clever, put him in the crevice of the thing, and if the table has no terrain and you're the one who charges and you're never getting charged and your opponent has a, blah, 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 then you can mathematically do it, maybe. But 0.3 is a lot. Halberds still do more with buffs? That's what I wanted to hear. That's what I wanted to hear. He told me what I wanted to hear. Because I wanted the big fucking look at the damage weapon. I wanted those to actually be better. Necromantic Custodians. 5 up, but if it is wholly within 12 of any friendly hero. Sure. Sure. Not bad. Alright. I'll take a 5 up ward on 18 wounds with a 4 up. And a whole bunch of other stuff. And battle line sometimes. I just can't. No longer are you less gassed. You are more gassed. Unit size is only 2? Fuck. Oh no, that's a... Wait, that's fine. Because then you can get 4 of them in, you don't have to worry about coherency yet. You don't have to worry about coherency with a reinforced unit. Because you get all 4 in. That's a slight upside, right? Yeah, more gas, actually. Gas, gas, gas. No longer are you more gas Dark Kai, you are more gas King Kai. Fuck coherency. So for 2 of them, what do you even point these at? These guys slap. If I was writing the book, I would perfectly cost more gas Dark Kai so that they were mathematically competitive with stalkers. Like, figure it out. Do the physics, do the chemistry required, and just make it so that mathematically speaking, if you want battle line damage, you're essentially 5 of one, 6 of one, half dozen of the other for stalkers versus Morghast. These fly in are faster with a fucking free roar, and then you probably make these guys do more damage or something like that. And that's the trade-off, is between speed and utility or just pure damage, and that would be the thing. It's a 2-man unit. I think they would point these at 80 points a model. I think they would. I'm thinking in my head. 6 wounds, 4 up, 10-inch fly, auto roar, battle line, annihilator models. They have a stupid 8-up charge thing which won't happen, and a ward which may or may not even matter. Probably won't matter ever. I think they would cost them at 80 points a model and they'd be 160 for 2. That's my guess. Final answer. 160 for 2. $240. All right.
The windup in his first offering, just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
All right. Look, chat room, I tried the corner, I missed, okay? Sometimes you gotta try the corner. The no command ability aura is pricey. I mean, it should be. It essentially gives them a free rend. And I would almost still take them, so maybe the... Okay, so they are... very... Okay. They cost a lot. But... you get a lot. Battle line annihilators that automatically pass roar with 10-inch fly. They'll die. They're actually, like, at this cost, they're glass cannons, right? But no commands. This thing here, to me, this reads Rend 3 on the War Scroll. Just opponent can't all out D. It just means they have Rend 3. And then you CA, they have Rend 4. And your opponent, like, they're just doing mortal wounds. They're using the combat step. But your opponent is just taking damage and they're not rolling anything. And when they're countercharged, they're dead. But that's alright. They're fast. Don't forget the 3-up heal or res. If they're close to your stuff, yeah. I don't know how... So like this, I don't know how close they're going to be to your heroes. Come turn 3 or something. They might... You might use a unit of 2 of these, like, just creeping through the jungle on their hands and knees. Taking the scenic route to get to those backline heroes. Like, spend 240 points. They move 13 with a CA. If these things fight like some foot hero, the foot hero is dead. Even if it's one of those, 6 wounds, 3-up save, Stormcast heroes, that hero is dead. They're taking like 12 damage at Rend 4 or something, so they're just gone. So that's kind of fun. I like them. And then we get the Harbingers, which used to be the good ones, if I recall correctly. One of them got 3d6 charge, that was the good one, and the other got some bullshit, and I can't remember what it was. So we got Harbingers, alright. Same. Ooh, they also get heralds too. Damn. God damn. Grim opponents. If you make an same thing. Oh, so it's just the final ability that's different. Okay. Same all, but final ability. All right. On Wings of Malice, during deployment, instead of setting up this unit on the battlefield, you can place it to one side and say that it is soaring above. Okay, so deep strike. So they really are annihilators then. All right. Keep your secrets. These are way better. Yep, you were right. Harbingers are by far the better one. So this one has a ward of 5 up if it's near some hero or some shit, which it just won't be. And this one has a deep strike. No brainer. Damn, I thought this thing was the winner, but it's actually just what both of them are. Yeah, there's no 3d6 anymore. Yeah, reroll charges, you're not necessarily trying to land them somewhere and get super lucky on a 9-inch charge. You're just putting them exactly on the battlefield where you want, and then on your turn you move them and once or twice and get into range. I don't think they're here for an alpha strike. I think they're here to just put somewhere that you want and then start sending them after something like an assassin, which seems weak and kind of tactical, but I thought deep strike was for alpha strike, and you're right about all that, but that's better than this crap. So yeah, Harborker wins for me. So technically this one's better, so it should cost more, but I'm gonna guess that it costs the same because I want these to cost the same, because I think I want people to just choose. Hey, do you want a ward or do you want a deep strike? It's not the kind of deep strike that you get to alpha from, so it's not even that good. Let them be the same cost. What do you say? What are they? Final answer, 240. Imagine if they're cheaper. No, okay, 240. Cool. I like them. Dude, Morghast got like good for the first time ever. They're like one of those like units that's running around holding like a giant bullseye, like please kill me opponent, you know? But if you don't, that's a problem. And I like to play tricky crap like that. Battle line really makes them something that I would ever use at 240. Do I type that? I guess I type that. Distraction glass cannon. Saved from huge points cost by battle line. Kind of. Memes and excitement aside, I think they're saved from their huge points cost by battle line, kinda. This ability's sick. Mir Kanan, already looked at him. We got Endless Spells, Bone Tide Nexus, and that's it. Alright, let's look at the Bone Tide Nexus. Bone Tide Naxxramas. Alright. Every time I save this document, it's like lagging because I have like 125,000 words in it. Impassable. Oh, that's too bad. This terrain feature has stairs on it. I can't climb the stairs? Come on. Let me climb the stairs. Deadly Gaze. In your hero phase, you can choose for this terrain feature to deliver one of the following punishments. Oof. Alright, punished terrain. Metal Gear 5. In your hero phase, you can choose one of the following punishments. Agony. Pick one enemy with an 18. Add one to the roll if any enemy units were slain within 12 of it in the previous turn. We got to keep track of that. On a 4-up, subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made by that unit. Okay, so... Curse of Agony. 24 seconds. Damage ramps up. Never clip it off. Only cast it if you know the boss is going to be alive for the next 24 seconds. Otherwise, skip it. Sorry. In your hero phase pick. Models. So during the previous turn, not this turn. Curse of Death. So Curse of Doom lasts a minute. Does about the same damage Curse of Agony would have been for the whole time, and you're saving yourself, you know, a few global cooldowns. Definitely worth the damage if you know the thing's going to be alive for that long. Everything's the same as above except D3 Mortal Wounds. Punishment of Ignorance. Pick one enemy wizard or priest within 18 of this terrain feature invisible to it and roll a die. Add one to the roll. Okay. Subtract one from casting or chanting rolls. Cool. Curse of Tongues, which is mostly a LARPing ability after you're out of dungeons, to be honest. Doesn't work on bosses ever. But you can be using it to help your group if everybody's leveling or under geared or something, and no one will care and they'll look at the damage meters instead, so. If something's casting, just death coil it, or tell your Fell Hunter to spell lock them. Alright, wizard or priest? Wizard or priest, -1 to cast or chant as above. Good in PvP. It's great in PvP because it wastes the healer's global cooldowns getting it the fuck off them over and over. How dare a rule affect a priest for any reason in this game? Yeah, I know, right? And Punishment of Lethargy. Oh shit. I actually can't remember what that curse is called because it's always in Affliction. I never play Affliction because I hate the playstyle. I think it's Curse of Exhaustion. That unit cannot run until your next hero phase. In addition, subtract 3 from charge rolls for that unit until your next hero phase. We found the best one. We found the best one by far. This is it. This is the one. I'm not going to say it's the one you always use, but can't run -3 charge rolls. I mean, they're all good, actually. There isn't a bad one here. The Ignorance is probably the least used, I would bet, but still, like, these are good. I have no complaints about the Bone-Tide Nexus, besides how fucking ginormous it is, so it's hard to put on a table ever. And it's free. One of the worst things that can happen to you in this game, besides losing an important priority roll, is failing a charge. When you fail a charge with a critical unit that you probably chose a battle tactic for, you fail a charge, you re-roll it, you fail it, that unit's pants fall down, and everyone points and laughs in high school. Like, it sucks. It's so bad. A 6-inch charge turns into a 9-inch charge? Damn. How many terrain pieces would actually be playable if they cost points? None. Wait. Let me think about this for longer than 0 seconds. Gloomspite gets, they might pay points for theirs. Because it's single-handedly returning something like 600 points to the table every game. So maybe Loon Shrine. The Ogre one, fucking no. The Corn one, maybe. The problem with the Corn one costing points is if you spend points on it, it behooves you to take, like, your endless spells. But that's coming out of your endless spell budget, you know? So it's sort of double dipping. Sylvaneth 3s, you would probably have to. The army would get a lot worse. Maybe you have to. Idnet Deepkin, no. Fire Slayers, I don't know. Beasts of Chaos probably would. Yeah, Beasts would. Nurgle, no, they'd just summon it. Slaanesh, no. What are some other terrain features? You know, I smashed terrain features. I could just glance to my left. Seraphon, who knows what's happening in their new book? But probably not. Yeah, I mean, if nothing changed and they increased, most people wouldn't play them. I can think of like 3 armies. Moosewhite gets definitely would. Khorne maybe would, but they wouldn't feel good about it. Boat definitely not for IDK. What sucks is that every army has battle tactics that have to do with their terrain features usually. Maybe half of them do. So that kind of sucks. LRL terrain is pretty good. People would pay points for it. Not if it was a difference between 2,000 points featuring Techless or 2,000 points not featuring Techless. Unfortunately, LRL is so tight that if it was it would probably end up being a decision between play the army and have a terrain feature or play like the good list and don't have one. LRL terrain was trash last you looked. Did they rework it from the first version? It lets you reroll casting rolls and it lets you spend commands for free. In what universe is that bad? LRL players, I swear. I'm joking. On that note, it's so easy to fall into the Zinj players lol thing, but so far I've managed to avoid doing so in any serious capacity. Because I think it's too easy and kind of weird. Oh yeah, BOC would pay for theirs, for sure. Anyway, that shit's good. Now, the last thing, this is no longer a guess the cost, because these are endless spells. The game here is we read the abilities that the endless spells do, and we organize them in a 1, 2, and 3. But the more important is this is clearly the best one, this is clearly the worst one, just on what the rules are. And then you look at the points, and every single time, the one with objectively the best rules is always the cheapest, which seems to fly in the face of the concept of points for balance. But in the last book, I will remind you, in the Khorne book, that wasn't true. It was only half true. And that was the first time ever in all of 3rd edition. So, is it a streak? Is it a combo? Is it a sign of things to come, or is it just an outliner? I should have said outlier, pardon me. Alright. Endo less spells. We got Nightmare Predator. Okay. Cast on a 5, range of 12. A wizard in a garrison cannot attempt to summon this. Interesting. Predatory. move 8 and can fly, so 20-inch range. It is bonded. Bonded endless spell is always controlled. The model cannot be bonded to more than one. If the model that summoned the endless spell is removed from play, then the endless spell is also removed from play. Wait, is there no more -1 to cast when you're bonded? Cool. Hey, no more downside. Oh, that's been gone for a bit. Alright, well. You can tell how long it's been since I've played against OBR. They got rid of that in third. Death Incarnate. After this endless spell is moved, roll a die for each unit that has any models it passed across. So everybody. 2 up D3. Then the commanding player can pick one unit within 1. And roll a die on a 1, nothing happens. 2 to 5, another D3. On a 6, D6. Didn't I just read this exact paragraph somewhere? Hold up. Hold up. 1,000 pardons. But
We take a look at the tail of the tape.
Some of them may be involved with exotic stuff, like dark matter. Some.
An ABC News brief brought to you by Michelob Light Beer. Now from Washington, Sander Van Oker.
alright, Sander Van Oger. Didn't I just read this exact paragraph earlier this week? 8-inch move, fly. 2 up D3, then pick one unit within 3. Oh, and then roll a die, 1, nothing happens, 2 to 5 D3, 6 up D6, and then it goes away. So the difference is, this one, pick a unit within 1. Pick a unit within 1. Pick a unit within 3. Completely different. Sorry, I blew up. Never mind. Yep, totally different. So it does damage. I'm guessing that it costs 70 points. Yeah, the spell doesn't leave when the cool thing happens, but you can't unbind the prayer. So I guess that's fair. Yeah. Bro, let me copy your homework. Yeah, but just change the range from 3 to 1 so it doesn't look like you copied. All right. It's just better. It's better and worse. It's better. So Nightmare Predator is better than the Axe because when you roll the cool 6 and do D6 mortal wounds, it doesn't unsummon itself. So that's why it's better. It's worse. Oh, it's also better because its range is longer. 12-inch range instead of 8 to initially summon it. So those are the two reasons why it's better. It's worse because you can unbind it when you're casting it, unlike the prayer one. The range is actually shorter if the corn person is summoning it from their thing. And it's only choose within 1 rather than 3, so at sometimes when you put it down, maybe you can find a clever place to land it, but then still hit the unit you want, which is 3 away. You can 6 this thing with Archon, so it's 2 inches better than the corn one if they're in the thing. So I would say that overall, what do you value more? You can't unbind it, so you can unbind this one unlike the prayer. But it sticks around when you roll a 6, I guess. That's like the upside to this one, and it's slightly longer range. It doesn't poof on a 6, even though that's unlikely. It's real easy to unbind. It's real easy to dispel. It's probably not easy to unbind because you're probably casting it at +2. But it's real easy to dispel. So maybe the corn one is slightly better. Yeah, I guess even though the corn one has shorter range, depending, you can't interact with it, so it's better, I guess. My guess is 70. Even though I said I wasn't going to guess, I'm guessing. I'm guessing 70, because that's what the other one costs, I think, if I recall. Soul Stealer Carry-On. We will call it Bird. Summons on a 6. Set it up anywhere on the battlefield that is visible to the caster and more than one from all models. Oh. More than one? Hold up. I'm intrigued already. And then it moves 8 fly. Models with a wounds characteristic of 1 or 2 that are within 6 of this endless spell cannot contest. You can put this anywhere just outside of 1 from models. Outside of 1. You could just toss this anywhere. Just turn off. Okay, it's, yeah, models with wounds characters to 1 or 2. You're playing against Iron Jaws, this thing literal does nothing. If you're playing against ogres, it literal does nothing. Blah, 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 yeah. But not too many armies have mostly 3+ wound guys. The vast majority of armies do in fact have 1 and 2 wound stuff. Even, like Noblars and stuff, everybody's got chaff for the most part. Like the only people who like zero, you know, Beastclaw Raiders, Mega Gargants. There's got to be somebody else, but those are like the 2 where they just actually never have 1 or 2 wound characteristic. And do you really need help beating those 2 armies? Be honest. As OBR, come on. Actually, maybe. Yeah, put it anywhere in global range. So I'm gonna not say so good. I'm gonna say this is great. I'm gonna say it's great, and I'm gonna say it costs. Ooh, well, I bet Games Workshop thinks that the capturing stuff is actually really strong, and I don't think they're wrong to think that. I think they point this at 50. I think they 50. Like, my gut says 40. I agree with you, only great games, but I believe in Games Workshop. I think it would make this 50. And then Bone Tithe Shrieker. The Bone Streaker. Cast on a 5, range 12. Eighth move. Bonded. Portent of Doom. Units cannot receive the Inspiring Presence or Rally while they're within 12 of it. Those are pretty big range. No effect on OBR. This thing, yeah, I remember, Frank. I remember this used to give +1 to hit. Back when +1s to hit stacked. Subtract 1 from ward rolls for units within 12 with this endless spell. Ward rolls, huh? Okay. They keep adding stuff to these, so... No Rally Inspire within 12. And -1 to ward rolls within 12. Dude, there isn't a... Like, all these are good. Wholly Within 12 is a big... Wait, not Wholly Within 12. It's just within 12. Yeah. 12 is a large range. You cast this at 12. You cast it at 18 with Archon. It moves 8. You can really put this... You can really put this somewhere. It undoes a 6-up ward. 12's big. No Inspire or Rally. All 3 of these are kind of good. Kind of good, though. I think stopping capturing is better than this. But it really just depends. They're both good. And just fucking damage. Like, just damage is good. The problem with this one is that it's really dispellable. It casts on a 5. Alright. Really quite good. Wait, is there something in the bonded that makes it harder to dispel? No, okay. Yeah, so I would say overall for your endless spells, these are really quite good. And as a downside, they're easily dispelled. You need 5s and 6s. So that's like the balancing factor here. I know I've guessed on these already, but do not take my guesses to mean which ones are the best or not. Nightmare Predator is the worst. Bird is maybe the best, but it's a toss-up between Bird and Bone Streaker. They just do different things, and they're like weird silver bullets that really fuck different things. If I had to choose one, I gotta take the Bird. I think the Bird's the best. Everybody's got wound 1 or 2 stuff to contest. You can really fuck with them like that. Not everybody's trying to rally or inspire. Not everybody has wards. Usually they got one or the other, right? But I think I like the Bird the most. And so I've guessed that it is the cheapest, because I think it's the best. And I think the Nightmare Predator is the worst, and so I've guessed that it's the most expensive. And none of them are bad. Alright. What do we got? We're locked in. And now I can finally actually go to the page, right? Bone Tide Streaker, most expensive. And I thought it was the second best. And then the other two are tied. This is not, Nightmare Predator. Am I reading this correct? This is an endless spell that does this is an endless spell that does mortal wounds. And they priced it like they want you to buy the model and play with it. Why is the Corn 170? Well, okay, the Corn 1 is 70 because you can't dispel it, I guess. 40 exclamation point. Bird 40 exclamation point. 50 is fair for the Bone Shrieker. Totally fair. No exclamation point needed. Yeah, once again, for the second time ever. For the second time ever. Endless spell prices are like reasonable and good. It's a streak. I'm counting 2 as a streak, alright? We're on a roll. Things are turning around. It's happening. We're in a new era. Imagine what the books in 4th edition are going to look like when they're doing stuff like this already in 3rd. Damn. And all these are good. Remember when I said all these are good and they're like kind of close to each other, and then they were? Man, that was wild. It was wild. OBR book done. It is over. It's over. And there it is, the last page. Oh, this is a far better image. This is way easier to read. Okay. Want to know the secret best part? What is the secret best part? It's all over. Yeah, good one. Allies. None. They didn't forget. It was not omitted. Everyone fucking hates these. These are the Skaven of GA death. Everyone hates them. Soup, BTFO, GTFO. Good. Don't you come into this house. Look at that. Allies, none. Just like every army should be in the whole game except for Stormcast. Oh, what a world we could be living in where every army is perfectly insular and they don't have to worry about some other unit from some other army rolling in and doing whatever. That being said, they undid almost all of the cool ally combos of the past. So there isn't really like a Munchkin reason to do it anymore for the most part. Cool. Alright, so final thoughts. Let's, as always, go back to the beginning. OBR. Remember what we talked about up here? Pre-look notes. They should work with the rules of the game instead of not. Check. They do. I want all the troops to be good. I mean, I kinda... gotta see some... them. Oh wait, I wanna make this an 8. On. Okay, well, first, before make William. All right, yeah, no, we'll say how many points are we giving him on this one? I'll give it a 5 out of 7. It's a 5 out of 7. It's a 5 out of 7, right? That's fine. Switch hats, sure. Nagash should be like a god. Catacrow's more like Chata Gross. Honestly, yeah. Catacrow's pretty cool. He might just be more badass than good. Like as it pertains to building a list. And when you're finally truly done with the list, is he still in it? Is he still in the list when you're done? Be honest with yourself. I don't know. Maybe? I don't know. Is he still in there because he's so badass or because, like, he does enough? I'm not sure. His points are pretty reasonable. And that 24-inch, like, your entire army just has +1 save, +1 to hit. Like, your whole army just has that, right? Like, how big is his base? 3 inches by 5 inches or something like that. You're talking a 50-inch diameter circle in the center of the table of, like, the entire game is all my guys have all-out defense and all-out attack 100% of the time, always, unless you fight him. Is there room for him? I don't know, but he will, like, probably act like what he's supposed to act like thematically. A diorama in the center of the table that everybody's fighting over, and he's kind of pointing here and there and telling people where to go. Kind of cool. Catacross is a core. He does core workouts. I've seen the armor. It's not just for show. Really just interested to see how they reimagine the rules here. They did good, actually. New players will hate playing against this. New / casual / bad. Players will hate playing against this. To be TBH. Fight opponent. Kill guys. Opponent turn. They're all 100% back. Repeat 5 turns. You lose. That's OBR. This is fighting OBR as a new or casual, or you're not trying to be, you're just beer and pretzels, you know? This is what it's like to fight OBR. You charge their guys, you don't do as much damage as you thought you would, but you do kill some, and then it's the OBR player's turn, and every unit that you dealt damage to is 100% back to full. Every turn. And then eventually you lose. After 5 battle rounds. That's what it's going to be like playing against OBR. And they're not going to like that. But you know what? That's what OBR should be like playing against. Deal with it. Drive some monster trucks at them. You know, they can't come back to life if you wipe them out entirely. Unless there's a harvester nearby, in which case you can. So just kill the harvester, right? Somebody from chat wanted the foot heroes to be playable. They very much are. The foot heroes are awesome, with good, even great points values. Unless they meant the foot heroes can fight, which Lamau. Lol even. Keck, if you will, right? Upgrades should be better than non-upgrades. They are. Overall, I need to see how the parts of the factory work on the table. I just got to see what the numbers look like. But honestly, OBR, 5 out of 7. A nice 5 out of 7 for this one. At least on first initial reaction, right? Remember that one dude, the must buy this model guy? Remember that guy? The Ossifactor, what was his name? I gave everybody meme names. Oh, Mortimer Buy New Model Man. And remember I was like, you just care about the rend, you're just exploding hits. Now hold on there, partner. What was there a defense one for our Gothazar Harvester Stallones? Because if there was and I ignored it before, I'm sorry, I thought they were supposed to be monsters. They're not, they're factories. They should be treated like factories. I apologize. Oh, there was a defensive one. The defensive one is the first wound or mortal wound caused to the unit in each phase is negated. In a sense, it adds up if your opponent is doing the multi-phase chip thing, which the better your opponent is, the more likely they're doing multi-phase chip strat. So it kind of scales with that. But it's such a minor effect. Lasts until your next hero phase, so it could be like, you know, shooting combat hero phase, shooting combat hero. It could be like 6. I think you don't take the must buy the hero man. Am I crazy? What song is this? It reminds me of Ninja Gaiden. Oh, Pigstep Heli NT. Chillcraft. Heli NT. I don't think you take the new hero guy. I think you just take the if you're trying to create the Harvester Stallone factory of bone. One man all alone. I think you just take the sub faction and then not this guy. Calcification isn't good enough. You got a bunch of double casters that know all of your spell lores. Fuck this guy. I don't think you play this guy actually lazily. Yeah, I think you take the sub-faction if you're trying to keep factories alive. And if you're not trying to keep factories alive, or you're just doing it in other ways, you take your better wizards instead. Casts 1 spell, doesn't reanimate anything, doesn't even cast 2 spells. Isn't even trying to cast a secondary spell after the first one. Yeah, non-bi-casting have-an-ass single caster over here. 1 spell. Doesn't even know all the spell lores. No reanimation. I think, honestly, swing and a miss with buy new model man. I don't feel like I must buy new model. Which is good, because I think he's ugly. I think he's ugly. He is Ugmo. Doesn't even have a chair. And that chair doesn't even reroll charges in Staliarch Lords? What are you doing? And it doesn't even have that turbocharged Burka Lounger? Rev it up. Did you remember to check the tapes on the artifact that gives +1 mount attack per spell cast? It doesn't even have that make the weird cow noise from Metal Gear 4. Yeah. What are those called again? I used to know the name of those things, you know, years ago. Before war changed. What was the Archon consensus? Amazing. Auto include maybe. Yeah, geckos, that's it. Thank you. Geckos. In my IMO, Archon is like he's not... Who knows what the army lists are going to end up being, but he seems great. I kind of always want to play with him. You're probably not... Your foot casters are good enough that he's probably not required. like a "you're stupid if you don't play him" kind of thing. I don't think it's like that, but he seems amazing. He's, to be honest, a little better than half of Nagash for 1/3 the cost. Nagash's points is like a fucking rocket ship on its way to Mars. Kind of always has been. I don't know what the fuck's going on there, but all right. How many stalkers is enough? Once you hit 2,000 points, once you can no longer put any more in. But don't listen to me. The first time I tried to build a Gutbuster army, I ran out of points after just only taking Iron Guts, alright? So... anyway. Hey. Let's end on a high note here. Let's end with the most obviously good hero in the book. Actually, who knows? But I'm stopping right here. He's the man of the hour after all. Oh, pardon me. There we go. Just so the important stuff is visible. Who cares if the name is on there, right? Tomorrow, Friday, Age of Sigmar show. We got the full Soulblight Gravelords leaks. Who's ready for another 9 hours of... Look, I took some breaks. I made a sandwich. You know, we did all sorts of stuff. Anyway, it probably won't be that long tomorrow. I might play some Diablo, though. Some Diabolo. Afterwards. Anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. OBR good. Tomorrow, Soulblight Gravelords. If there's... I know that the mods have been cooking in the mod channel. They've been working on a mecha giant robot tier list. Maybe for a slow day. Maybe after Soulblight. Just slide it in there. Who knows? It's just SJ? Okay, well, whenever he's done with it, we got a big show tomorrow, so. Anyway, TY for watching, I appreciate it. Thanks for the subs and the bits and the primes. Damn. Aren't these streams great when there's something to fucking talk about news-wise? Holy shit. What happens when they stop releasing a book every 2 weeks? I'm a Diablo 2 and waifu game streamer now, I guess. We'll see. Anyway, TY for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Please enjoy my outro, and I'm going to try to find somebody to raid that does Age of Sigmar. If nobody does, you're going to a random place. And I might start memeing with that, actually. Be nice. Anyway, see ya.